Heavyweights hit the cage when WEC veteran Van Palacio squares off with Chris Lewis. After a 7-year layoff from mixed martial arts competition, Van Palacio made short work of Rafael Del Real when he picked up a TKO victory in less than 2 minutes. Even more impressive, Palacio was able to secure the victory without landing a single punch. Tonight, the man known as Butter looks for another victory to add to his MMA record. Locking horns with him will be the undefeated Bellator veteran Chris Lewis. After a flawless amateur career, Lewis kicked off his professional campaign with a knockout victory over Myron Smith. He now looks to do the same against a stubborn veteran who never backs down from a fight. Straight ahead, it's heavyweight hitters Van Butter Palacio battling Chris the Law Lewis. This is Tachi Palace Fights.
Here we go, guys. We are back in the heavyweight division. Van Palacio taking on undefeated Chris Lewis, who made his debut at Bellator 156 just recently. And this should be a big fight here. A lot of meat in that cage here tonight, Leslie, in these two heavyweights. And I'm looking for a good fight here as we see Chris Lewis make his way to the cage from Fresno, California. They call him the Law. And his fight was a first-round finish over Myron Smith. 6'3" tall, and he is a big man.
Yep.
As he takes on the ever-smiling Van Palacio. Every time I see Van Palacio in person or on video, he's always smiling. Will he be smiling after he faces Chris Lewis?
Well, Van Palacio has a lot of reasons to keep smiling. He's gotten a lot of wins.
Absolutely.
4-1.
And his last fight, March 10th, 2017, TKO victory over Cody Sons. And this guy has fought some big names, including UFC veteran Wes Sims, did Van Palacio. Obviously, Chris Lewis, one fight only, and that was against Myron Smith. So 5 fights versus 1 fight, but evenly matched up fight, in my opinion, as we see Chris Lewis enter the cage. The gigantic back tats are a thing nowadays. And Chris Lewis hearing it from this crowd. He's got a lot of backing here tonight. And here comes Van Palacio. I don't know if Van Palacio has a nickname, but if they don't make it Smiley, then there's something wrong in the world, because this guy is always smiling whenever I see him.
It is Butter. You know what? I had looked it up and found the name Butter, but I only found it in one spot.
That was the same with me, too. So I wasn't really sure, but I heard everybody calls him that. A little birdie just told me it was Butter, so.
Now we've got...
He's definitely not smiling now, Leslie. He looks like he's serious and ready to fight. So nicknamed Butter, Van Palacio from right here in Lemoore, California, home of Tachi Palace Fights. Born right up the road in Hanford. Training with Vendetta.
So this is not the largest cage out there. This is
a puncher's cage, Leslie.
This is
small.
a puncher's cage, yes. It is a little bit small. It makes it hard to avoid the fight. Inside this cage, you pretty much have to go for it. And when you get guys this size, then it's even more immediate that you're going to get some action. There's not a lot of circling or staying on the outside.
Action-inducing cage, we will call it.
Absolutely.
And with these 2 big guys in there, man, this should be a good one. And here is the tail of the tape. And we see the Law, 6'3". He's got 2 inches on Butter, who's got 5 pounds on him, 265 to 260. Big age gap, 7-year difference in these 2 guys. 29 years old is Chris the Law Lewis. And they have his record here is 2-0. To my knowledge, he's only had 1 fight, and that was at Bellator 156. He may have had another fight that I did not hear about. Butter 4-1 for his part. He's only lost 1 fight, 4 big victories. So around the same weight, a little bit of an age difference, and just about 2 inches for Chris Lewis. As we move on to this heavyweight fight, we'll send it up to Tyson Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next Tachi Battles fight will be 3 5-minute rounds in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter stands 6 feet 3 inches tall. He weighed in at 260 pounds. He represents Team Buhawe with an undefeated record of 2 wins and 0 defeats. He hails from Fresno, California. Please welcome Chris "The Law" Lewis. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. He weighed in at 265 pounds. He represents One Kicks Gym, Team Ochoa, and the Central Valley Combat Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, with a mixed martial arts record of 4 wins and only 1 defeat, please welcome from Hilo, Hawaii, Van Butter Palacio. Your referee for this bout will be Jason McCoy.
So now I said that Van Palacio is from Lemoore, which is where he's residing now, but it sounds like he's from Hilo, Hawaii. Perhaps he's trained a little bit with BJ Penn, the prodigy. That's BJ Penn territory over there.
It's possible. Man, this crowd is so excited for this fight right now.
Absolutely, and here we go. 2 big guys, and if you look at them, one of them looks like a professional vigilante, and the other one doesn't look like he's in as good a shape, but we all know that Van Palacio can absolutely go. So you can't go on looks alone, body alone. Van Palacio is a legit fighter as he takes on Chris Lewis, and Lewis looks like a beast. And it is Van Palacio in the black trunks, Chris Lewis in the white trunks in this heavyweight battle at TPF 31. And we are just out of the co-main event. Coming up next, Randall Wallace and JC Yamas. And Palacio looks bored in there a little bit. He said, okay, come on, man, let's throw some punches. And right now what we have is an MMA match, and in every MMA match, eventually a fight will break out. Who will be the guy to start the fight? That is the question.
It's interesting. It looks like Palacio is the one who's trying to take the center of the cage and push Chris Lewis back. But then, like you said, I don't know that bored is the word that I would use, but he does keep stepping back as if to invite Lewis to
say,
do
let's
something.
fight.
Let's go.
And we saw Superman earlier. Now we have the Batman logo on the trunks of Chris Lewis. And it looks like now Chris Lewis throws a nice right hand, and Palacio says, okay, I felt it, let's go. And it looks like Palacio will be the guy. He is moving forward. Lewis is circling away from the power, which is very smart. He lands a left and a right combo. And immediately clinching is Van Palacio. And Chris Lewis imposing that obviously enormous strength as he spins Palacio up against the cage, and Palacio trying to stuff this takedown, Leslie. He does a good job.
Right, he did a good job. He got clear. Ooh, but then he took a lot of punches. Some people have to get hit in order to feel like they're fighting, but you don't want to get hit that many times.
Not by a guy with arms like that. And Palacio bleeding already, but taking the shots, and
he's
Chris
just taking
Lewis.
them.
And
Man,
Jason
he needs
McCoy is
to
going
move.
to step in here.
He needs to use his feet and get away from that cage because he's just a big target the way he's standing right there.
And looked like Jason McCoy was going to step in, but Palacio fired back. He's going to give him time to fight.
He got off the cage. He started moving. He's got some head movement. It looks like he said, okay, now we're in a fight. Let's go. That was a nice slip. Said, all right, I can taste a little bit of blood.
I can see one thing right now,
I'm
Leslie, is that Van Palacio needs to get his hands up.
Oh, yeah.
A guy that just landed that many shots on you, you can't keep your hands at your side. You've got to get some sort of guard up there as he checks that leg kick, so he's still very cognizant of the fight.
But Chris Lewis is still being very respectful of the potential power inside of Van Palacios. He's not rushing in. He's still picking his shots, taking his time, even after landing everything that he landed.
And don't forget, Van Palacio coming off a TKO victory over Cody Sons just a few months back. So Chris Lewis has that in the back of his mind. I'm sure he's seen that fight, and he knows that Palacio packs power in those hands. So, as you said, picking his shots, not trying to go insane to get the finish. There's a nice front kick. And Palacio says, let's get it, bring it on.
I don't know that I would say let's bring it when I haven't landed anything and the other guy has landed a lot myself.
Maybe he's saying it like this. Look, this guy's landed 17, 18 punches on me clean. I'm bleeding, and he hasn't hurt me yet.
Definitely, it's possible. It's definitely possible. You know what I'm liking that I'm seeing Chris do? I've seen him do twice, is where he's holding Palacio out with his left, and he leaves that left out there to make the space and kind of give him a target, and then he's pulling that back right as he's throwing his right hand. I'd like to see that happen again.
Lewis is just strong as an ox. You can see the power even when he landed that leg kick. But as you said, he's content to take his time, pick his shots, and be smart about what he's doing and not get overconfident and perhaps get caught.
Because that left hand right there could have done some damage if he wasn't.
Palacio grabs the leg, throws a knee to the midsection, and again, the power is apparent in the body of Chris Lewis, who is able to spin around, and he puts Van Palacio back on the cage, looking for a takedown here. Looked like he was going to hip him over there for a second, Leslie, but Palacio was able to stop that.
It doesn't really look
at that shoulder
that
strike.
Was dope. You know what? And the way he used that cage, Palacio, how he jumped up, and it was like a double hit. He
Absolutely
hit the front of Chris Lewis's face, and the back of Chris Lewis, his head hit the cage.
Interested to see if he'll do that again as it landed. I don't know how many of you at home saw that, but Palacio, once he got Chris Lewis up against the cage, jumped straight up and used his shoulder to attack the face area of Chris Lewis. I'd like to see a replay of that if we can get that, but the story of that round, the first round here, was Chris Lewis landing a ton of strikes on Van Palacio, and Palacio keeping his hands at his side. And he was just warned, was Chris Lewis, by referee Jason McCoy, not to stick his hand out with his fingers. As you know, Leslie, when you do that, you can poke someone in the eye. If you're going to stick your hand out, they want your hand closed so that there's no inadvertent eye pokes, and that's what he was just warned by Jason McCoy.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see more of a sense of urgency from either of these guys, or if we're going to keep seeing this sort of calm kind of
chess match.
Yeah, that is a great description for what it seems like so far.
There's a big right hand from Lewis as we watch the replay. Throwing that teep kick a couple times, left, right, left. Every single one of those landed except one. That head kick even almost landed. See the blood trickling out of the mouth of Palacio. We thought McCoy was going to stop it, but he's given Palacio a chance to get back into this fight. Didn't see the shoulder strike there, but I assure you it was awesome. And Chris Lewis now. So we are live from Tachi Palace, and we are 7 fights in. The heavyweights are doing battle. Heavyweights are doing battle here. Sorry, I'm hearing voices in my head. And Van Palacio in the black trunks. Chris Lewis in the white.
Superman punch from Palacio.
And Palacio now, like you said, will he have a sense of urgency? Well, either fighter have a sense of urgency, but the guy who really needs it at this point is Van Palacio. And again, even though he was warned, you still see Chris Lewis reaching toward the head with his hand wide open. Nice jab there from Lewis that just misses. Palacio steps back. Palacio now coming in. Little unorthodox with the way he's moving his hands around, although he has them a little higher than he did in round number 1. And now he's going to rush in on Chris Lewis. He wasn't able to land anything significant, but he did get inside. What does Palacio need to do here, Leslie, to get back in this fight?
Well, he needs to put some stuff together. What both of these guys are doing is they're just throwing one punch and then backing up. I'd like to see a combo. It looked like he was going for something spinning right there. Yeah. But you know what? Even that, though, I want to see it at the end of a combo. I want to see a setup. I want to see something that's going to disguise the punch that's going to change the whole fight.
Not a lot of level changing here either. I mean, we saw a leg kick there, but not many. Mostly it's just boxing at this point. No one's really changing levels for a takedown. No one's changing levels for leg kicks. We're just getting a straight up standing, almost kickboxing match.
Shoot, we're not even getting body shots, really. And I think that a body shot would be devastating. Not only would it be devastating, but once you start going up, down, what that happens is that it drops someone's guard. They drop their hands from their head because they're worried about their body, and then you can land that knockout shot.
And in that last exchange, Chris Lewis landed a big right hand, and Van Palacio said, bring it on. And as you said, he needs to land some things. He got caught with a left jab there as well.
Neither fighter seems too excited about the clinch.
It's almost like a sparring session at this time, Leslie Smith, is what I'm kind of getting the vibe from this fight. Neither guy is in a big hurry. There's a big left hand from Palacio, followed by another one throws a knee in there as well.
See, and this is where he needs to keep going. Put it together. Keep coming. Both of them. Both of them. They've both done some impressive stuff at this point. But it's not going to be that one punch. I like, you know what? Maybe that wasn't pretty, but I like the sense of urgency. I like that he's going for it. That's what I want to see. That's what's going to change this fight right now, is going for it.
Palacio still just trickling blood from his nose. Not a lot of big damage there. I can't quite tell. I don't think there's any damage on the face of Chris Lewis, who just throws a big bomb of a right hand that just misses. And Palacio looks tired. They both look tired, let's be realistic, but Palacio looks extremely weathered right now.
Man, I want to see them use some of the other elements.
Spinning elbow that just missed. And as you said again, not at the end of a combo, although he used it to start a combo, and now it looks like we may go to the ground here. Big knee from Van Palacio. Big right hand from Chris Lewis, and a jab that finds a home again, and here comes Palacio saying, bring it on.
Let's turn this into a brawl, guys.
And down, wow, look at that. Almost like a front face lock, but a guillotine attempt at the same time, and he just bullies Van Palacio to the mat.
I liked how he had a couple shots to the head before he moved on. Let's see if he'll go around, take his back.
Yeah, I'd like to see him take his back, and that's exactly what he's going to do here.
Right there, and just start throwing. Those ones that come from underneath the arm, if you can switch, you get the underneath the arm, then you switch back to the head when the head moves.
We saw Dan Henderson finish a big fight like that, those punches underneath the arm, and Palacio's in trouble. McCoy's right there looking close. He's going to stop this fight unless Palacio can do something here.
He can actually keep on throwing while Palacio is grabbing his head. He doesn't have to stop. He doesn't have to deal with that because there's nothing that Palacio can do when he grabs his head with that left arm.
Now he's got the left arm of Palacio trapped, and there's another hammer fist, and that's a big man on top of you, Leslie Smith.
Yeah, but I want to see the big man do something. I want to see him throwing. I want to see that. I mean, I think he's winning. It's definitely looking like he's winning, but we're here for a fight. We want to see that sense of urgency.
I don't have a clock in front of me. I'm not sure how much time is left, but McCoy is taking a very close look at this, and he's going to stop it.
All right.
Referee Jason McCoy has waved off the fight. He felt like Van Palacio took too much damage. Palacio, for his part, thinks it was an early stoppage, and he's upset. He's very upset, but to be honest with you, Leslie, he hadn't done anything in quite a lot of time there, and Lewis was landing some serious elbows, some serious hammer fists, and Palacio was not fighting back, but he is livid over this decision to stop this fight, Leslie.
Yeah, I can see that he's livid, and I can see where he's coming from. I can see where he's saying, you know, I'm fine, I'm not hurt, I can keep going. That wasn't doing it, but he wasn't scrambling. He wasn't putting up any kind of a legit defense, and that's what it comes down to, is if I can get my opponent and I can make it so they cannot defend themselves,
absolutely,
and I can just keep on landing.
Like he's doing here.
Exactly, and they are not, that's what it comes down to. The ref is looking for whether or not you are intelligently defending yourself.
Correct.
And he wasn't. He had his hands up, yes, but he wasn't moving to change the position.
And to be fair, Chris Lewis won the fight in somewhat dominant fashion, but I wasn't very impressed with the sense of urgency or the attack mechanism of Chris either. I mean, I think that he could have come on even stronger when he had Palacio in trouble. For me, it was a slow start for both of them that stayed sort of slow, and Palacio came out on the short end of it.
You know, I think that it was just sort of meant to be that we had to have a fight like this because we had so many crazy fast fights. Yeah.
Let's send it up to Tyson Johnson for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 minutes, 38 seconds into round number 2, your winner by way of TKO, Chris "The Law" Lewis.
So there's the official decision. Chris Lewis is going to win it by TKO. And I'll tell you what, it was a good fight. I thought that both of them could have been a little bit more active. Palacio was not happy with the stoppage, but a good fight nonetheless. Chris Lewis looks great. He'll move to 2-0 or 3-0, depending on who you believe. Either way, he's still undefeated, and he looks great in the cage. Van Palacio will drop down to 4-2. Hopefully we'll see him again. He'll go back to the drawing board, but I'll tell you the good news, Leslie. Coming up next is the co-main event of the evening. It is Randall Wallace taking on J.C. Yamas, and this is one of the fights that everybody's looking forward to here. 13-6 for Randall Wallace, 8-6 for J.C. Yamas, the leg lock monster. And J.C. Yamas has won 3 of his last 4 fights. He rattled off 3 wins before losing a technical decision. So this is going to be
This
a good
was
fight.
one of this was right here. What we're watching, it was one of his best flurries.
There's the
and
shoulder.
There's, yes, the shoulder
Appreciate
bump
the
that
truck
you were
for sending
looking
us
for.
out the shoulder attack that you saw from Van Palacio. And again, I have to be honest. Although he won the fight, Chris Lewis looked very slow and a bit sluggish at times.
Yeah, but sometimes that has to do with the
way your
interaction of the
opponent's
two
fighting.
fight.
Yeah.
how the styles matchup go. I would like to
Absolutely.
watch him fight again.
Chris Lewis beating Van Palacio.